Welcome back to the VS Showdown. Today we're diving deep into the wildest hypothetical yet. What if Godzilla evolved with King Ghidorah's DNA? Two of the most powerful titans in the monsterverse, fused into one terrifying force of nature. Would this hybrid be unstoppable? What powers would it gain, and who or what could possibly stand a chance against it? Get ready for atomic breath, gravity beams, and a whole lot of destruction as we explore the ultimate titan fusion. It's been 8 years since Ghidorah attacked. Kong is happy in Hollow Earth and Godzilla is keeping balance on the surface. Godzilla, getting the SOS from the Iwi, Godzilla goes to evolve, he gets to Antarctica and shoots his atomic breath at the ice, causing Tiamat to come out roaring at Godzilla. But she's a greenish yellow now? Godzilla doesn't think much of it and just goes to attack. Tiamat wraps around Godzilla and tries to keep his mouth covered, but Godzilla charges up and silences her in pieces. That was too easy, almost like she wanted him to kill her. Anyways, he goes into the ice, absorbing the energy. After hours, he busts out of the ice. He is glowing yellow, his dorsal plates sharper longer, his tail spikes similar to Ghidorah's, and he now has Ghidorah's horns. He roars up to the sky. He feels so strong, powerful, but as a little headache doesn't matter, he needs to go. He jumps into the water, swimming away. He walks up on top of a hill and senses Kong and roars, jumping off the cliff and into the water towards Kong. He makes landfall and charges at Kong, going through buildings. Kong tries to tell him to stop, but he gets rammed through the side of a pyramid. Kong gets slammed into a smaller pyramid. Godzilla charges at him, but Kong throws sand into his eyes, making him go through that smaller pyramid. Godzilla turns around and tries to bite him, but Kong blocks it with his beast glove. But then, Godzilla slams Kong's back into a pyramid and pushes him through the top of it, making Kong go through the tip and fall onto the other side. Godzilla climbs the pyramid. Kong shakes his head and looks up. Godzilla jumps off the pyramid, but Kong quickly rolls to the side, and Godzilla lands on the ground, causing a big dust cloud. Godzilla turns and tries to bite, but Kong charges up his beast glove and punches Godzilla, his head slamming into the pyramid. Godzilla turns around forcefully and tail whips Kong, making him fall back onto the ground. Godzilla stomps onto Kong, his dorsal plates start to glow yellow, a bit of lightning forming on them until he is hit off by Mothra's god rays. Godzilla stands up, looking at Mothra. After a moment he roars up to the sky and Kong gets up doing the same, as does Mothra. Scar King breaks through the wall. He smiles seeing the portals but hears Godzilla's growl and sees them going from the portal and crashing into the ground. Godzilla comes and so does Kong, running to Scar King. Scar King commands Shimo to run at them. Kong jumps onto the back of Godzilla, and they both jump off. Scar King and Shimo do the same, jumping off. Then, gravity is gone, and Godzilla flies through the air, almost having fun, until gravity comes back and they all fall through the portal. Scar King lands on the beach, he gets up and looks at the sun and smiles. He has made it. Now he will rule. He looks down at the people and roars at them. He commands Shimo to start another ice age. Shimo does what he says and shoots her beam right into the sky, making storm clouds. Then, she shoots it at the city, freezing buildings. Godzilla breaks through the ice, roaring. He charges up and shoots a lightning-infected yellow atomic breath, hitting Shimo off balance. Scar King roars, only to get an electric punch to the head, making him fall to the ground. Scar King gets up and spits out a tooth. Godzilla charges and rams into Shimo, knocking her into buildings before getting smacked off, making Godzilla crash through buildings. Godzilla gets up and charges again, but before he shoots, he gets frozen over by ice. Shimo beat him to it. Scar King demands her to help him against Kong. She runs over and tail whips him away from Scar King. Lightning sticks the ice frozen around Godzilla before a shockwave of lightning bursts out, and Godzilla is free again. Scar King looks over and sees Godzilla. He's about to command Shimo, but he gets grabbed and thrown. Scar King gets up and goes for a punch, but Kong catches it and pulls and pushes, snapping and dislocating Scar King's left arm. He roars in pain as Shimo knocks Kong off, and then she gets hit by atomic breath. Scar King grabs his arm and snaps it back into place. He takes off his whip and whips it at Godzilla, but Godzilla, seeing this, grabs it and bites down onto the crystal, making it explode in his mouth. Zuko comes out of the portal with Kong's axe. Kong takes the axe and swipes at Scar King's leg, slicing it, making him fall to his knee. Godzilla charges and stomps onto Scar King's chest and charges and shoots an atomic breath right at Scar King's head, blowing it clean off. Godzilla backs away, shaking his head before charging up and shooting an atomic breath into the sky to stop the ice storm. But instead, it grows bigger. Yellow lightning forms in it. Kong roars, asking what the hell Godzilla is doing. Godzilla stops and looks at him, and Kong can tell, this is no longer Godzilla. Ghidorah is in control. This is now Monster G. Monster G does the one thing that Ghidorah did all those years ago, the Alpha Call, telling the Titans to wake up and get to Brazil. The first one that hears this is Behemoth. He walks up looking over the hill and seeing Monster G, he senses something isn't entirely right. Rodan bursts out of his volcano, hearing the call and going supersonic to get to Brazil. Mothra flies out of the portal, looking at Monster G. She knows that isn't Godzilla. Monster G charges and charges, looking up at the sky as lightning sticks to his dorsal plates and mouth. He shoots his atomic breath straight at the ground, lightning following. He is drilling to hollow Earth. He stops firing, and Warbat starts to fly out of it. Drowned vipers rise from the water. Skull crawlers crawl out of the hole. Mother Longlegs, spirit tigers, and other creatures. And Tiamat bursts out of the water with the drowned vipers. She regenerated due to the Ghidorah DNA in her. She let herself die so Godzilla could get the Ghidorah DNA in him. Ghidorah is now in control of Godzilla and Tiamat. Rodan quickly arrives, landing on the ground. Behemoth is now certain, and he walks down next to Kong and Shimo, joining them. The water shivers as Methuselah rises from it, walking onto land. Then they hear a sound like a horn. They turn around and see it. Helicopters bringing in a robot. But not just a robot, a Jaeger. Diamond Danger, with a sleek design with light blue coloring, axes stolen from the great ape's lair on its back, along with 2 shoulder cannons and the Apex logo on its arm, and finished with a diamond coating to deflect Godzilla's beam. Apex is joining the war on Kong's side. The helicopters drop the Jaeger and it lands, rising up. Apex made this one to specifically kill Godzilla. But Apex, during 2024, they were building Mechagodzilla. But not just that, in a different location they were building something else. The water shivers and something comes out of it, a mechanical Kong built. Queen Muto arrives on the scene, standing next to Monster G jets, and battleships arrive. Humans are not going to sit this one out. Monarch is panicking. Godzilla turned evil. Their worst nightmare. Monster G roars and so does Kong. The war has started. Monster G charges and his titans. He clashes with Kong, who dodges a bite and slashes the side of Monster G, but it almost instantly regenerates. Diamond Danger grabs his axes, clings them together as he drags them onto the ground, pulls them up, slicing a warbat's wings off. The battleships shoot at the drowned vipers and they swim to take them out. Behemoth rams into the Queen Muto, knocking her down. Monster G-Tail wipes Kong and bites down onto his left arm. Mechanical Kong's right hand transforms into a blade with hollow earth energy around it. He runs up and slices at Monster G's neck, cutting it a little, but it regenerates and Monster G head butts Mechanical Kong away. Methuselah charges and slams into Shimo, barely making her stumble. She rears up and brings her claws down onto his back, ripping off flesh and rock. Methuselah roars in pain as Shimo pushes him away. Kong roars at Monster G and Mechanical Kong glitches for a moment before getting back into the fight. He shoots missiles from his shoulders and punches Monster G in the face. Monster G grabs Mechanical Kong, lifts him off the ground and slams him down. Monster G charges up, but right before he shoots, Kong jumps onto his back, grabs his head and forces it back, making Monster G shoot his beam into the sky. Monster G unfolds his tail spikes and stabs them into Kong, throwing him off. Kong gets back up and roars. That roar activates something in Mechanical Kong. His eyes glitch from blue to red. He roars and kicks Monster G away. Mechanical Kong was actually built by using the Rivel's skeleton, and the Rivel is in control. He goes up and sees Kong's axe laying on the ground. He grabs it and holds it up as he remembers his weapon, the exact weapon he used to kill that oversized Gojira. He roars, and Monster G roars back as Mechanical Kong charges, jumps to the side, and dives the axe straight into Monster G's back, making him roar. Monster G turns around and bites down onto the arm of Mechanical Kong, lifts him up and slams him into the ground. He does it again and again. Until Behemoth runs up and stabs his tusks into Monster G, he roars in pain as he throws Mechanical Kong into Behemoth. The stab wound soon regenerates. Behemoth gets up, he is not going down without a fight. He charges and tries to stab again, but Monster G grabs him by the tusks, stopping him. He hears Kong coming up behind him. He spins Behemoth around and slams him into Kong like a battering ram, making Behemoth's tusks break off. Kong gets sent flying away as Behemoth falls to the ground. He throws the tusk at Behemoth, going right through his leg, and Monster G throws the other tusk, making it go through the other leg. He charges up and bites down onto Behemoth's neck, lifting him off the ground. He shoots his atomic breath, it cooks and slices at Behemoth's neck and goes right through it, decapitating the head, leaving the neck a steaming pile of dead kaiju. Monster G throws the head as Diamond Danger arrives and jumps over Monster G, digging both of his axes into Monster G's back. Monster G charges, making lightning strike his back, and a mini pulse of lightning mixed with atomic energy shoots out, making Diamond Danger go flying off. Mechanical Kong gets back up and spikes come out of his fists. He jumps up and punches Monster G in the face. Monster G slashes and bites at Mechanical Kong, who then kicks him away. Monster G charges and shoots his atomic breath. Mechanical Kong tries to dodge, but the side of his head gets hit, making him fall to the ground. Mechanical Kong gets back up with half of his metal head now gone, revealing the rival's skull. Plates in Mechanical Kong's back open up and shoot missiles out. They hit Monster G, but he comes running out of the smoke, only to get blinded by Mechanical Kong's eyes with almost a god ray light coming from them. Mechanical Kong moves out of the way as Monster G runs past. Monster G stabs his tail into Mechanical Kong's chest and rips parts of it out. He turns around and tackles Mechanical Kong to the ground, then stomps his foot down onto his chest. Mechanical Kong roars in defiance one last time as Monster G's foot charges with electric energy. He rises and stomps down onto Mechanical Kong's head, going right through it. Monster G turns around and sees Diamond Danger charging. He charges up and shoots an atomic breath at him. Diamond Danger raises both of his axes and blocks the hit, the energy almost overloading the axes. Jets fly down and shoot at Monster G's head, making him stop briefly. Mothra flies down too, only to get attacked by multiple warbats. Diamond Danger grabs a skullcrawler and throws it at Monster G, hitting him. Monster G looks at Diamond Danger. Diamond Danger's chest opens up to reveal cannons that shoot bullets infused with hollow earth energy. They shoot, firing multiple rounds at Monster G. Most of them bounce off, but some pierce him. Monster G roars and Methuselah rams into Diamond Danger as Shimo Tail whips Methuselah and charges after him. Monarch flies down, having an idea. The Queen Muto. They still have the Orca, so they hurry to build a new, very rushed one. Monster G roars as Kong comes out of nowhere and grabs Monster G's dorsal plates. Monster G tries to shake him off, but he can't. Kong pulls back and rips a small dorsal plate out, flips it and stabs it into Monster G's side. Monster G slashes at Kong's chest, grabs him, lifts him, and throws him away. Monster G grabs his dorsal plate and rips it out. A new one quickly regenerates in its place. Monarch finishes a rushed, cheap Orca and quickly flies over to the Queen Muto. Queen Muto is fighting jets, and Monarch activates the Orca. It barely works, but it is good enough. Diamond Danger is about to attack, but Tiamat comes out of the water and bites down onto Diamond Danger, pulling him into the water. But Diamond Danger is made to fight Godzilla, so this Jaeger can fight underwater. Diamond Danger grabs Tiamat, pries her jaw open, and kicks her away. Water boosters unfold from its legs as it tries to get out of the water before getting ambushed by multiple drowned vipers. The Orca releases the alpha signals, and the Queen Muto shakes and follows. The Queen Muto roars at Monster G. Monster G turns around and roars back. The Queen Muto charges up and releases a weak EMP that barely weakens Monster G. Monster G charges at the Queen Muto, grabbing her and slamming her down as she stabs her claws into his side. Monster G then grabs the Queen Muto's jaw, his arm charging with yellow energy, and rips her jaw off. He raises his foot and slams it down onto her head. Monster G gets a plan. He roars at Rodan, who is fighting Mothra with the warbats. Rodan turns around and looks at Monster G. He roars, demanding Rodan to follow him almost like a bodyguard. Monster G goes into the water and Rodan follows. Monster G swims to Canada, to the Bruce nuclear power plant. Diamond Danger gets away from the drowned vipers and flies through the water, trying to stop Monster G. But Rodan flies down, swipes up Diamond Danger, and flips him in the air. Diamond Danger grabs his axes and stabs them onto Rodan's wings, throwing him down into the water. Diamond Danger falls into the water and looks around, but he loses track of Monster G. Monster G makes landfall in Canada and heads towards the nuclear power plant. He immediately starts to absorb the radiation. Now that the nuclear plant is drained, he is glowing yellow. Now he needs to charge up the Ghidorah half. He jumps back into the water and swims to Taiwan. He makes landfall and heads towards the Taichung power plant. He arrives and absorbs the electric power. Once he is done, he is glowing bright yellow, lightning swirling around him. He swims back to Brazil, not just boiling the water, but electrifying it. Rodan crawls back onto land in Brazil, and he sees Monster G coming out of the water, lightning sticking him, and where he steps, every step sounds like thunder. Monster G has gone storm atomic. One of the Monarch workers says, "Oh my god, Zilla." Shimo roars at Monster G and he roars back. She charges and shoots her frostbite blast, but it evaporates before it even gets to him. She stops dead in her tracks, but Monster G keeps running and slashes at her eye. His claws burn her skin off. She roars in pain as Monster G grabs her bottom jaw and top jaw, his hands burning her skin. He charges and shoots an atomic breath down her throat. Lightning strikes through her as his atomic breath bursts out from the other end of her. He lets the body fall as he roars. Kong comes running and stabs the axe into Monster G's side. The axe overloads and explodes and Kong gets shot back. Monster G walks over as Kong tries to crawl away, but Monster G slams his foot down onto Kong's chest, making him let out a pained roar as it burns his skin. Monster G charges up with lightning striking all over his body. He lets out a storm atomic pulse which completely turns Kong to bones. Mothra flies down, but she gets grabbed and crashed. Diamond Danger comes out of the water ready to fight. Monster G charges up and shoots an atomic breath at Diamond Danger, but his hand transforms into a three-clawed energy absorber and absorbs all the energy from the atomic breath. The yellow power travels up his arm to the cannons on his back, and they both shoot yellow lasers at Monster G. Both lasers hit him, making him stumble. Diamond Danger charges, only to get grabbed by Monster G's mouth and slammed. The heat is melting the diamond coating and the metal underneath. Monster G rips off the arm and bites down onto the head, crashing it. Monster G stands victorious and roars at the sky. He is now the demon of monsters. So there you have it, a look at the monstrous potential of a Godzilla-Ghidorah hybrid. With the strength of the king of the monsters and the powers of the cosmic dragon, this fusion could change the balance of power in any universe. Until next time, stay epic.